Imagine stepping onto your porch, coffee in hand, ready to greet the dawn. But instead of birdsong, you hear the distinct grunting and rustling coming from your meticulously maintained flower beds. To your dismay, you discover a family of wild boars, their snouts deep in the soil, uprooting your prize-winning roses. This scenario, once a rarity, is becoming increasingly common in neighborhoods across the globe. Is your quiet suburban street next? Wild boars, also known as feral hogs or wild pigs, are not a new species. They've roamed the forests and plains of Europe, Asia, and North Africa for millennia. What is new is their increasing presence in areas once considered exclusively human domains, our towns and cities. But why this sudden shift? What has driven these creatures, more at home in the shadowy depths of woodlands, to venture into our manicured parks and gardens? The answer, as with many conflicts between humans and wildlife, lies in a complex interplay of ecological factors, human behavior, and the extraordinary adaptability of the wild boar itself. To understand this phenomenon, we must first delve into the world of these intelligent and resilient creatures. Wild boars are not creatures easily confined by labels. Often seen as pests, they are highly adaptable and resourceful, thriving in diverse environments. Their bristly hair and robust physique are perfect for foraging. Their long, mobile snout is key to their feeding habits. This sensitive organ acts as a natural plow. Their diet includes roots, tubers, fallen fruits, insects, small vertebrates, and carrion. They don't turn their nose up at a meal. This adaptability extends beyond diet. Wild boars are intelligent, quickly adapting to new environments. They exploit new food sources and navigate human landscapes. As human populations grow, so do opportunities for these omnivores. The story of wild boars encroaching upon human spaces is, in many ways, a story of two species on a collision course. As human populations grow and urban sprawl extends its concrete fingers across the landscape, the natural habitats of wild boars are increasingly fragmented and diminished. Forests are cleared for agriculture, wetlands drained for development, and once continuous swaths of wilderness are sliced and diced by roads and infrastructure. This habitat loss forces wild boars into ever-shrinking pockets of suitable territory, increasing competition for resources and bringing them into closer contact with human settlements. But it's not just a matter of being pushed out of their natural homes. Human environments, with their abundance of easily accessible food sources, also act as powerful magnets, drawing wild boars in with the promise of an easy meal. Unsecured garbage bins overflowing with food scraps, gardens brimming with vegetables and fruits, and even carelessly discarded picnic remnants become irresistible feasts for hungry boars. Add to this the absence of their natural predators, such as wolves and large cats, in many suburban areas, and you have a recipe for population growth and increased encounters with humans. While the sight of a family of wild boars rummaging through a park might seem charming to some, the reality of their presence in urban and suburban areas is far more nuanced. Their adaptability and opportunistic nature, while admirable in a purely ecological sense, can have significant and costly consequences for human communities. The most immediate and visible impact is often property damage. Wild boars are notorious for their rooting behavior, using their powerful snouts to turn over soil in search of food. This can leave lawns looking like battlefields, gardens resembling disaster zones, and even cause damage to irrigation systems and underground utilities. But the cost of cohabitation goes beyond mere aesthetics. Wild boars, particularly males during the breeding season, can be aggressive if they feel threatened or cornered. Encounters between humans and boars, while relatively rare, can result in injuries from their sharp tusks. Their presence also poses a significant risk to motorists. Their dark coloration and tendency to move in groups make them difficult to spot at night, leading to collisions that can be dangerous for both humans and animals. Section 5. Nature's Plow and Prey. Despite the challenges posed by their presence in human-dominated landscapes, it's important to remember that wild boars are not inherently villains in this story. They are simply wild animals, trying to survive in a world increasingly shaped by human activity. In their natural ecosystems, they play vital roles in maintaining ecological balance. Their rooting behavior, so destructive in our gardens, is actually beneficial in forest ecosystems. As they turn over the soil, they help to aerate it, improving drainage and creating space for new plant growth. This disturbance also plays a role in seed dispersal. Wild boars consume vast quantities of fruits and nuts, and the seeds, often passing through their digestive system unharmed, are deposited far and wide in their droppings, effectively planting new trees. Furthermore, in regions where large predators are still present, wild boars serve as a vital prey species, supporting populations of wolves, bears, and big cats. Their presence, or lack thereof, can have cascading effects throughout the food web. Therefore, while managing their populations in human-dominated areas is crucial, so too is ensuring their conservation in the wild, where their ecological role is irreplaceable. Section 6. Keeping a respectful distance. The key to successfully coexisting with wild boars, as with many wildlife species, lies in finding a balance between respecting their wild nature and minimizing conflict. The first and most crucial step is to remove the temptation that draws them into our neighborhoods in the first place. Easily accessible food, securing garbage bins with tight-fitting lids, avoiding the use of open compost heaps, and refraining from feeding wildlife, even indirectly by leaving pet food outdoors, can significantly reduce the attractiveness of residential areas to hungry boars. Fencing gardens and yards with sturdy boar-proof barriers can also be effective deterrents, although it's important to note that boars are surprisingly agile and can climb even relatively high fences if motivated enough. Beyond these practical measures, education and awareness are paramount. Informing residents about the potential risks associated with wild boars, such as avoiding confrontation and keeping a safe distance, can help to prevent negative encounters. Encouraging the reporting of boar sightings to local authorities can also assist wildlife managers in tracking their movements and implementing appropriate management strategies. Section 7. A global challenge, diverse approaches. The challenge of managing wild boar populations is not unique to any one region or continent. From the rolling hills of Tuscany to the bustling streets of Berlin, from the rice paddies of Japan to the suburban sprawl of Texas, communities around the world are grappling with the same issue: how to coexist with these intelligent and adaptable creatures. In Europe, where wild boars have long been a familiar sight in rural areas, their increasing presence in urban centers has prompted a range of responses. In Berlin, for example, specially trained hunters are employed to control boar numbers within city limits. While in Barcelona, authorities have implemented a capture and sterilization program to manage the population more humanely. In Asia, where wild boars are often revered in mythology and folklore, finding culturally sensitive solutions to conflict is paramount. In Japan, for instance, farmers are experimenting with innovative fencing techniques and odor deterrents to protect crops, while in India, communities are working with wildlife authorities to establish corridors that allow boars to move safely between forest fragments. Section 8. Technology on the front line. As human-wildlife interactions grow, innovative solutions are needed. Technology plays a key role in managing wild boar populations, aiding in monitoring and tracking. Camera traps monitor boar activity without invasive methods. Drones with thermal imaging provide data on boar distribution. Smart fencing uses motion sensors for targeted deterrence. These fences trigger alarms or lights to condition boars to avoid areas. AI analyzes data on boar behavior and habitat use for better management. The story of wild boars highlights the challenges and opportunities of human-wildlife coexistence. Understanding and innovative solutions can help us coexist peacefully with wild boars.